Hi, I'm Lisa Lumea, and this is Eye on the Eagles, your comprehensive coverage of American University athletics. American University athletics has a rich history of recruiting players from all over the world. International players have had great success here at AU over the years, with several making their mark, even this year. Here's Emily DeMarco with more.
With several of AU's teams having representatives from 14 countries outside the U.S., the international recruiting process is a very familiar subject to many of AU's coaches. Eye on the Eagle sat down with several international student athletes to find out what brought them to AU and the United States.
As a transfer, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to visit here, and I'd kind of narrowed it down to 2 schools. It was getting quite late in the process, and I actually visited AU first, and I came for the weekend, and I immediately felt like I fit into the group, into the AU family, as Todd would say. I was looking for something that I could feel a part of, and when I actually came back from my visit to AU, I knew that this is where I wanted to come.
American University is my dad's alma mater. He came here, he graduated from here. He's in the Hall of Fame. Everyone asks me if I feel big pressure about that, but I guess it's a challenge. So hopefully I'll achieve bigger things than my dad.
I got recruited from one of the former coaches on a former staff, Eddie Jackson. He brought me here on a visit, and I wasn't sure if I was going to come here or not, but as soon as I came to DC, to AU, I fell in love with the city and with the whole school, and it was pretty much like I decided I wanted to come here.
Well, they certainly have impacted the program from some of the early days, Michael Brady being the National Player of the Year in '85, and David Naquid in our Hall of Fame, Avery John played in a World Cup. Cristobal Soto more recently was a Defensive Player of the Year, and Liam Robley was a first-team All-Conference guy last year. So the list is extensive, and I've only just hit on a couple of them.
One international student who has had particular success at AU is Czech setter Monika Smidova, who has won several awards while being a part of the AU volleyball program.
Before I got here for my freshman year to AU, I've never been to the U.S. I've never experienced anything like this, and even though I took English lessons and English classes since kindergarten, and I also had my personal English teacher, I always say that nothing prepares you well for or to speak like fluent language unless you're in that country for like 3 or 4 months by yourself.
We've had former Czech players here in the past, so they told me about the system and her age, at which time they told me, yeah, she's going into her 3rd year of high school, and she would have 1 more after that, which time I was saying, okay, so I could start to potentially contact, and I waited till the time I was allowed, and I contacted her.
I always try to push myself harder. If I see that I can be performing well, if I'll get a B on the test, I'm trying to get an A for the next class. That's one thing, and another thing is also time scheduling, because especially if we're in the season, there is not really that much time left for the fun stuff that we might be doing in spring. So in fall, it's almost, if you can't find me like in the apartment, I'll probably be in the library or in the gym. So it's all about managing your time.
I believe diversity has a lot more to do with people from many different cultures. And so we've done very well with reaching out to communities around the world, and it's been our mantra.
Even though I received all of the awards this past season, I want to say those awards are not individual awards, they go to the whole team, and I wouldn't certainly be here without having such a great team and having a great support from our athletic department. I hope it will attract more talented and athletic players to come to the AU, and especially building up the name for the international players that might be thinking about coming here.
At Ameritel Corporation, we know that every document is the most important document. That's why Ameritel offers a full line of Kyocera printers and copiers, customized apps, and services. Learn more at AmeritelCorporation.com.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
The Patriot League, today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leader. Hey, guess what day it is?
Hump day!
Hump day!
It's hump day!
Yeah. Hey, Mike! Mike!
Mike!
Guess what day it is? Hey, Camel! Guess what day it is?
It's not even Wednesday.
Let it go, Phil.
If you're a camel, you put up with this all the time. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Okay.
This year, the Eagles had no shortage of success throughout the winter season. This season, the AU women's basketball team made its first ever trip to the NCAA tournament. Senior Jen Dumiak helped lead coach Megan Jebbia's team to the big dance for the first time.
I would say that, pretty successful season. I think, coming into the year was a question mark as to how we were going to replace some of the seniors that had graduated. And, for Jen to be able to do what she did as a point guard, moving positions and leading the team and just having that, never die attitude, and we were going to win because she willed us to win half the time, was terrific. And to have our support players step up in their roles, as well as, being able to score when Jen struggled, or, making a defensive play when we needed it. And it was just a group of terrific young ladies that bought into the style of play, bought into the system, and played both ends of the floor.
Another team to take the Eagles to the national stage this season was AU Wrestling. The wrestling team had a very challenging slate as they took on opponents such as Oklahoma, Missouri, and Old Dominion. The team finished 11th at the EIWA Championship, with John Boyle and both David and Josh Terrell reaching the podium.
The 2014-15 wrestling season, we had some very good positives as a program. I would say more of our success was individually based, depending upon those times in the events that we went to. I would say another key thing that happened for us, John Boyle, our captain, had a great season. He knocked off a number of ranked wrestlers throughout the season, turned in a great performance at EIWAs, ended up second in the conference, and made his first trip to the NCAA championships.
Boyle and David Terrell continued their season at the NCAA championships in St. Louis, Missouri. Terrell fell short of a top 8 finish and All-American status, but set the school record for wins in a single season with a 39-7 mark. Boyle finished his season with a 37-10 record, posting the second most single-season victories in AU history, behind only his current teammate. AU swimming also reached new heights this year, with several new top 10 times being set this season. The men's team was led to the conference championships by senior Harrison Velasquez, who placed 10th in the 100-yard backstroke, and also advanced to the B final in the 200 back. Freshman Patrick Daughtry also made the top 10 list at AU with his 57.53 finish in the 100 breaststroke. The men's team earned 9th at the conference, scoring 88 points at the meet. The women's team placed 7th at the conference championships with several quality marks. Senior diver Melissa Parker earned 14 points for the Eagles at the meet with her 5th place finish on the 3-meter board. Junior Paris Wood and sophomores Kaylee Watson and Juliana Cavano also had a strong meet for the Eagles, which we'll focus on later today.
But this year, we had a very good fall all the way through George Mason. We had Kaylee go to the FINA World Cup meet to represent the Virgin Islands, and we took a group of swimmers to Spain that did really well. And I think that really helps us in the long term too. But coming off those meets, going into January and our training trip here at school, we're all very solid, and that lent itself to a good conference championships.
The AU indoor track teams also had good results throughout the winter. Both the men's and women's teams took 8th place at the Patriot League Championship after running a full schedule throughout the start of the semester. The team set several new marks as Karina Velasco and Brianna Bello had top 10 times in 2 individual events and 2 relays.
They walked off the track different people. It was a career-changing experience for them. And then the next day they got on the podium and got medals, and they were little girls when they arrived and left as champions.
The men had 2 individuals earn qualifying times for the IC4A indoor, Liam Purdy in the 1,000 meter and Jim Belfato in the mile. The men's basketball team also had a fantastic season despite injury troubles. Playing with an undersized lineup all season, the team finished with an overall record of 17-16 and made it to the Patriot League Championship game, where AU fell to Lafayette 65-63.
Well, I thought we wound up being, having a good season. Being in the championship game, that's sort of your goal. You want to sort of be at your best at the end of the year. So I think it was up and down, with all the injuries that we had. We had to sort of figure some things out. Basically our entire front court was decimated. So I give a lot of credit to Marco and Charlie, for stepping in and doing what they were able to do. And I think the championship game was indicative of our season and our team and who we are. Where we're playing against, in my mind, at the beginning of the year, I would have said Lafayette was the best team in the league. So for us to battle them at their place, go down by double digits in the second half, and be able to take the lead, says a lot about our team and our character.
The list of alumni who have taken their athletic career to the next level has grown over the past year. Here's David Mandelberg with more.
3 former athletes from the graduating class of 2014 have taken their careers to the professional level. While Julie Crum and Tony Roblicki took their trade to Germany, Billy Knudsen's career kept him stateside. Eye on the Eagles had the opportunity to speak with all 3 athletes.
So first off, thanks for joining us today. How are you liking Germany so far?
Germany's awesome. It's a beautiful country. I think it's very similar to the States, so the culture shock isn't too much, and the basketball is great, and I'm just in a great situation out here.
And how was your time at AU translated there? Have you taken a lot of the stuff that Coach Brennan taught you and applied it?
Oh, absolutely. Coach Brennan, was a phenomenal development, for my skill set, and giving me the confidence to have a great senior year. So that is absolutely translated to my professional career and what I'm able to do right now. I highly doubt I would be where I am right now if it wasn't for Coach Ben and the coaching staff at American.
Obviously, transitioning I think was a bit easier than I thought it was going to be in certain aspects. Definitely getting used to having everyone speaking German has been fun. I actually have German lessons twice a week, so I've been working on that. But where I live specifically, not a lot of the German people here speak English, so it's really forced me to try to, improve my language skills to adjust. I think if anything, I was, over-prepared in terms of the time we put in. Definitely at AU, everything was very disciplined. And during our preseason, we would have 3 practices a day. So the time commitment here is not as much because, like I said, some of the girls have jobs and school. But specifically playing at AU, I think prepared me a little bit because we got to play with so many girls from overseas. So my freshman year, I played with Magda, and I played with, Yulita and Maggie last year, and of course Christina and Monica. I played under a coach from Albania, Iola. So I think just kind of knowing those girls and sort of knowing how they are helped me to kind of come over here with an open mind too.
My time at American was everything to me. It means everything to me to play professionally. I mean, I was given the opportunity to play professionally because of my time here in college, and I would not have been able to have that opportunity without playing soccer in college. So what it means to me or how it translated is, it was my base for developing my soccer game at a collegiate level. I was coming from a Patriot League school, which was very physical. That translated into the physical play in the professional level, but I definitely had a little bit of a learning curve as far as getting up to speed when I got there. The practice schedule was, very similar. We practiced pretty much every day. I usually got there around 10 o'clock, or 10 o'clock went from 10 to noon, and then went home. So it wasn't too bad. I guess we might have practiced less, but when we got there, practices were extremely intense, and there was no messing around. I really enjoyed the whole experience, but a couple of things that stand out to me were there was one week where we played a game in the old 49er Stadium, Candlestick, and then we opened up the new 49er Stadium, Levi Stadium. And being a 49er fan also, that was an incredible experience, and just being part of kind of a little bit of San Francisco history. This is a dream come true for me. I was playing for my hometown team. My parents had season tickets to this team before I was even drafted there. So to be able to have the opportunity to actually play for the San Jose Earthquakes was a phenomenal experience for me.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
At Ameritel Corporation, we know that every document is the most important document. That's why Ameritel offers a full line of Kyocera printers and copiers, customized apps, and services. Learn more at AmeritelCorporation.com.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that former pro football player Ickey Woods will celebrate almost anything?
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me! Get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts. Woo! Give me some!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
44, ladies, that's me! Woo! Gonna get some cold cuts today.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
This season, AU women's basketball achieved what has eluded the program for decades. After several trips to the WNIT, the team finally reached its goal of making it to the NCAA tournament. In only 2 seasons, Coach Megan Jebbia has taken her team to the next level. With the help of senior guards Jen Dumiak and Shaquila Curtis and senior forward Aaron Zimmerman, the team took the trip to Iowa City, Iowa to face the Hawkeyes on their home court.
Yeah, Iowa was on our list. We had about 10 schools. We weren't sure. But, yeah, they were on our list of our short list, so we're excited about it.
Excitement was probably the first thing. Coming into it, I was pretty nervous, so I think the first thing was excitement, yeah.
It's just, I like playing on the road better, more focus. You're in a hotel room, you're not at school, at your own living, so it's awesome.
This team, as Athena just mentioned, has made history. This is the first women's team to make it to the NCAA tournament. They did it with exceptional coaching. They did it with great support.
Being in the tournament for the first time is an exciting time, a fun time, and we're just happy that we get to play a terrific Iowa team who has been to the tournament several times, and they're very talented and smart team, and we just look forward to the challenge of being out there and hopefully making a game of it.
I think we worked so hard to get to this point, and for the Patriot League, it's obviously you have to win it. You're not going to get an automatic a bid to the NCAA tournament, but we work so hard, and everything you work for in high school and then to college is to get to the tournament in this point. So it's just an honor to be here, and we're excited just for the opportunity to compete and play. So.
You could see the first 2 trips down the floor, it was a little, they looked a little nervous to me, and then all of a sudden, like, Jen scored and everything just kind of was okay after that. And so, you know, they were terrific. They played loose, they played relaxed, they had fun. And I think the biggest thing for them was that they realized that the pressure wasn't on them anymore and that they could play and just enjoy the experience, and what an experience it was.
I think we're just excited. You know, we were thinking maybe we'll be in D.C., a 20-minute drive to Maryland, who knows? But, I mean, it's awesome. It's a trip. It's one more game. You know, we're all just excited. I would say you never know that first time you get in how we're going to play, because they've never been there. And I said to them in the locker room that, you know, it's terrific to be the pioneers and be the first, but you have nobody to look up to and say this is how it's supposed to be done.
3 AU swimmers made history this season as they recorded top 10 times in the same event. Here's Lillian Noble with the full story.
After 2 successful seasons together, sophomores Kaylee Watson and Juliana Cavano and junior Paris Wood all recorded top 10 times in the 100-meter backstroke. They also participated in a relay event that set an all-time record for the American swim team. The group looks forward to being together for another season as they set out to take the top times in the AU record book and strive to make the cut for the NCAA championships.
Well, I think that all 3 women are really great examples of what we're doing here and what we have done and where we're headed. We really have opened the door for people to come here and a lot of different races if we felt like that was the right path for them. And obviously those 3 girls all had success in the backstroke this year, and also freestyle and some of them other events other than just the 100. So that's not unusual for us, and we're really excited that they had such a great year.
It's amazing. It's what I really liked about this year is all of our times were just like a .01 apart. So on the top 10 list, it's like me with a 56.67, Kaylee with a 56.68, and then Juliana, like all in the same sort of row. And so it's just really cool that we all made it, like same year. We were all in the finals. It was awesome.
I think it's a big building block for all of us to come in and know that we all had consistent times and that we trained together. And that next year when we come back after training really hard all summer, we're going to be able to hold each other accountable and work as training partners to make each other faster.
When you get to the meet, it's nice, like, they're your friends, and it's nice, like, being able to talk about the same event and having, like, the same struggles or whatnot with especially the 200 backstroke. I mean, it's a difficult event, and having this, it's just something that we can relate with, and it just makes a more fun atmosphere. On my previous team, there were like 5 people on it, none of which were my age or gender, so it was just like swimming with the boys, and I was like kind of lagging behind a little bit, but now I have 2 girls that are my friends and that we can work towards, like we can practice together and compete together, so it just makes it like a more fun environment.
I think each of us going into conferences knew that we were all pretty close to the record, that I mean, all of us are only 3 or 4 tenths off. So I think we'll obviously get bumped up, hopefully.
It's really, in some ways, incumbent upon them to do great training while they're at home alone. When we're not with them over the holiday break and you know, coming into the new year, and they all did a very good job of that, and I think that had a lot to do with how fast they went. I'm sure it is.
The final story of today's episode will focus on 3 outstanding athletes who have put their names in the record books. This season, basketball standouts John Schoaf, Jesse Reed, and Jen Dumiak all reached 1,000 points. Eye on the Eagle spoke with all 3 about reaching this milestone.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a goal that everyone has, more of a personal goal versus a team goal. So coming into this year, I knew that I was close to 1,000, so that was kind of one of my personal goals, kind of off to the side of the team goals. But it's kind of, I mean, it's just something that you strive for as a player, and your name goes on the board, basically. So, I mean, it's kind of cool.
I mean, it means a lot. I've played a lot of basketball here at American University, and I mean, it's really cool to be on the list with a lot of really great players that have played at AU. But I mean, I'm lucky. I mean, I've played for 2 amazing coaches. I've played on a lot of great teams with a lot of really unselfish teammates. So I mean, honestly, I mean, it's really a tribute to them and how lucky I am to be a part of that.
I mean, honestly, I haven't really got to think about it. I mean, after the season here, I got to think about it a little bit, and you know, it's pretty special. Not too many guys get to do it in their college career, and I was fortunate enough to do it after my junior year, so I still got a little bit more time to play. But you know, just breaking the milestone in general was just a great feeling.
It's nice. I mean, I played with 2 people that are already 1,000-point scorers. Lisa Strack, my freshman year, and then Alexis Dobbs, I played with her for 3 years, and then Liz Lear was the Doba when I was a freshman and sophomore.
Dobbs gets the screen. Dumiak spots up, and hits it.
To be amongst them is just an honor, because they're great players, and I've kind of accomplished what they did as well. So it's kind of, you know, a goal to do just as well as some of the other people that I've played with.
You know, there's only a certain number of, you know, players that you talk about and teams that you talk about. So for them to, you know, to be in that category with, you know, the great players before them, you know, I think it's a great accomplishment.
Jesse's had a lot of success over the last 2 years. He's been really efficient putting the ball in the basket, and I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He deserves all the recognition he's gotten, and it's been awesome to play with him the last 3 years.
I kind of kept up with how John was doing. He's my year, so he's been on the men's side. He was a freshman when I was a freshman. We're the same year, and he just works extremely hard. So for him to get it his senior year, I think he got it at home too. That was nice. I know his family comes to a lot of games. They come to our games, so it's kind of nice for them to get to see him do something that he's worked incredibly hard for. And then obviously Jessie got it in the game against Lafayette.
I mean, Jen's been hooping all year. She's been killing it. She was fun to watch. I would definitely say that she was very fun to watch. So no, yeah, it was pretty cool that all of us kind of broke it this year.
For Eye on the Eagles, I'm Lisa Lamea, and thanks for watching.